I knew it. 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 Oh, Claudia. See, I called it. Look at my previous videos. I called it. Either in the videos or the comments. Claudia is related to Julian. I knew it. And Lucius is undercover. That is all you need to know for this new episode. But if you want to know the full details behind that, listen to the recap right now. This is the recap for If Loving You Is Wrong, Season 4, Episode, 9? What's this title? What's this title? This antiquated title. The Will. Oh yeah, and by the way, please like, comment, subscribe. And OWN finally has its own app. Can you believe it? After all these years, OWN finally has its own app. Where you know how we've been complaining about, damn OWN, you know, you have this good programming now, but we don't get to see any of the good stuff on demand. Well, that's all changed. Now that they have their own application, we get to go and see this. See, I was so caught off guard by what happened at the end. Even though I knew it to be true. You just know when you're validated sometimes. Alright. But check out the OWN app. Please like, comment, subscribe. And so the episode starts off with Brad popping into the scene. And he goes and sees Randall there. And at that point, Randall and Alex are really close. So Brad's looking at it like, what is going on here? I did not come here just to see part 2 of what happened in the shed. Or, no, not what happened with the shed, but what I found out about you two. Lord Jesus. So Brad is over it. Alex is over it at this point because I'm like, Alex, just stay calm. Explain to him what's going on. Because Randall left all dramatic. Because it's Randall. Randall decided, you know what? I'm going to go and say, goodbye, Randall Jr. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back to see you. I'll be back every day. And Brad's over it because Brad was finally... Marcy talked him into going over there to go and see what's going on. Just to go and speak with his wife. Speak with his wife, and you know what happens? It backfires. It backfires on him. It backfires on him, and it's funny. It's not funny, but it's funny just because how timing is everything. Just like with Kelly. Kelly doesn't know what she saw. You know who that chick is that Ramsey had over there? It's probably his sister or very close cousin or something like that. Even if it's a girlfriend who was never actually a girlfriend, that was, you know, one of those rare oddities where a guy, not saying rare because I actually have a couple of female friends that I've never gone out with, and it can happen. It can happen. Is it necessarily mutual? No, but it can happen. But anyway, so Brad's over. He's just like, essentially think to himself, why the hell did I come here? And so I was just like, you know what? Yes, Randall was here to see his son. And, you know, we're going to be going to court, clearly, as you heard, to go and figure all of that out. And he was just like, you know, I don't want him here around my child and all of that. She was like, look, that's fine. We can go to court. We can let the courts deal with everything. Everything that he was telling her, he was like, good, we can let the courts deal with everything. And of course, Brad's irritated because he came over here possibly to go and try to work things out with Alex, and this is what happens. This is what he gets for trying to do the right thing. Alex is, again, over it because Randall just left, so she's just like, let the courts handle everything. He's just like, you don't have the money. You don't have any money. She was like, look, I'll figure out the money for our situation. And he was like, you don't have the money to battle Randall either in court, and he's a lawyer. That's what he's thinking. He didn't say that part. She was like, look, with some things, you don't need money. You just need action. I'm just like, what? Alex? Are you bossing up on us? Are you finally bossing up on us? Considering what you did to Brad, but are you bossing up on us? Alex? And he was just like, you know what? I don't know what that means, and that scares me, and that's why I'm definitely not coming back. It was like, well, what do you mean? This is my house. This is like, no, this is my house. Again, we'll let the courts handle that. Julian goes back to the scene of the crime, the hospital, where he tried to suffocate his father, and his father's right-hand man goes and sees Julius coming in the elevator, so he goes and bum rushes Julius in the elevator. He closes the door, and then he proceeds to try and strangle Julius And Julius is like, yo, you need to quit, you need to stop it. So he eventually stops. I'm thinking throughout this whole scene in the hospital, why is no one doing anything about this? I mean, they're being allowed with this, and everyone's just pretend. See, this is how I know this is still a Tyler Perry production, because there is some foolery that it was just like, look, we gave these people camera time. That's payment enough. If they go and say anything, we have to pay them. I think that's how it actually works. And so that's probably why he had them oblivious to everything that was going on. So Julius' father is dead. He actually died the following day after Julius tried to strangle him. And so Julius is just like, okay, well, you work for me now. He's like, no, go to the attorney, because we'll see about that. And as we know, Julius' father changed the will. How? I'm about to tell you how. But before that, again, he opens the door for the elevator. He walks out, and there's these people who, of course, come in, a doctor and a nurse. And I'm just looking like, Julius punches the picture, and they still don't do anything about it. Like, this is a Tyler Perry production, all right. And I say that in a good jest, because this show is great. It was a little bit slow, this first half. Part of first half, even like 75% of the episode. But it was a build-up, because it was finally, everything that we were thinking was finally happening. It was one of those episodes. It was like playing catch-up. Lucius goes to see Kelly. Kelly's just like, oh, hi, what are you doing here? He was like, look, this is business and just friendly. And she's like, okay, so what's going on? Well, he was just like, first, what's going on with you? So then that's when she goes and spills the beans with Ramsey, and that she saw Ramsey with this other woman. And he was like, oh, so basically, did you go and speak with him about it? Did you go and talk to him? She was just like, no. Why did I go and talk to him after seeing what I saw? It's just like, you don't actually know what you saw, do you? It's like, she said no, but it doesn't matter. It's like, but no, this isn't about me. I don't want your advice, whatever. You're just like, look, listen. At the end of the day, you didn't talk to him. You don't know who this woman is. And yet you go and you reacted the way you did. And now you're faced with either never speaking to him again, which can't happen because I need you to do me a favor, or going and being a woman about it and speaking with him. Of course, he didn't use that vernacular, but that's essentially what he was saying. And Kelly goes and talks with him about what he was really there to talk about. He basically hints at, not hints at, Kelly was like, oh, so you're going to ask her to marry you? She was like, hold up. Hold up. Okay, I said that was Beyonce. Yeah, anyway. It's like, no, it was about the house. You know, I need you to talk to Ramsey, because maybe we can get him to go and sign an agreement to initially lease to buy, because I want to get in there as soon as possible. And we're thinking, okay, that's great, but why does he want to rush this process? And so that's why, like, oh, maybe marriage. And so she was like, because he was like, yeah, I want to take her and my kids and put her in that house in that neighborhood. And it's like, oh, I know you have your one son with her. And just like, no, they're all my kids. And she was like, see, that's a man. That's how it should be. Shout out to you. See, Ramsey, Travis, they ain't no good. See, Julius, you a boss. So then, of course, he had to go. She was just like, you know, you can talk with him. You can talk with him about that. You're just like, no, you're the one with the connection, and I need you to go and do that. And of course, that was his roundabout way of also getting her to go and just speak with him to see what was really going on. And so after a bunch of no's, he knows this is Kelly, pushover Kelly. So she goes and does it anyway. I feel bad for Kelly. She really is a pushover. She's a nice person, but she's a pushover. And because she's a pushover, people have her going and doing whatever they want her to do. And whenever she puts some resistance back, she gets slapped back. It's not right. So, Marcy comes back and Brad's home. Marcy's thinking to herself, why in the world, hold on. Ugh. Damn allergies. Marcy's thinking to herself, why in the world is Brad, of all people, Brad back? I thought that, you know, Alex's spell will have been woven on him and that he will have been gone. He was like, no, guess who was there? Randall. She's like, why was Randall there? Randall was there to see his son and see Alex. It's just like, oh my gosh. It's just like, all right, screw it. Stay there. I mean, so, but Marcy was also like, you know what? I can't have you here. I can't have you here because here's the real reason why. I don't want you here. He was like, do you want me here? She's like, no, I don't want you here. I was like, you don't want me here. It's like, no, the real reason is I want you in every single way. And I know I can't have you because this situation is messed up. It would mean that they brought us together. And I can't have that. So I'm sorry, but I'm going to need for you to go. So he's like, okay. Okay. And again, meanwhile, this is all while she's touching his face and doing all this stuff. So, Marcy, here's what I need you to do. I need you to make up your mind. Because I don't believe you. I know you're trying to do the right thing, but I don't believe you. We get past that, and Lucius goes to Natalie's place of work, and he's just staring at her. So Natalie goes and talks with him. She's just like, what's going on? He's just like, well, you know, we're living in sin right now. We're living in that apartment in the hood, and I don't want anything to happen to us. He didn't say that part, but it's just like, and there's no reason for us to at least wait over a month for that house. Why don't we go and get in there sooner? We need a quicker resolution to all of this. And she was just like, that's great, but that's not realistic. He was like, well, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. Maybe in 2 weeks, we'll see about that. And aside from that, he was just like, you know, we're living in sin. And she was just like, I know, we don't. She was like, what happened? It was like, I went to go and visit someone at the hospital and they gave me a lot of perspective. She's like, I know, but you're freaking me out a little bit. What's going on? So he's just like, you know what, Natalie? You're a good girl. And I know it. So in front of everyone in this restaurant, Natalie, I love you. Will you marry me? Oh my gosh. Lucius, are you serious? Are you sure what happened was going... yes. And of course, I mean, Tyler, again, a Tyler Perry works in production. You could have just had a fake cheering laughing track. Because I'm sure there was a fake laughing track for... I mean, a fake audio track for the conversations in the restaurant. Because I'm assuming that they will have all will have had to gotten some type of check if they made some type of noise. I'm over it though. Or maybe the setup wasn't conducive to a lot of voices. Either way, I'm like, okay, Tyler, I'll give you a pass on this. And we're back at the lawyers because now we finally see Julian's mom. We see Julian's mom and we also see Tilda. Tilda. We see Julian come in, and of course she's looking at Tilda like, oh, this bitch. And we see his mom. He goes to his mom, and not lovingly or doingly, I probably said that wrong, doingly, he just goes there, and it's just like, okay, what's going on, what's good? And she's just like, you know, I'm not going to stand here or sit here and be disrespected by this woman who I don't even know. Because Tilda's just like, you know what? I'm the reason why you even stayed in that house for 30 years, because at the end of the day, even though he was technically married to you, he was with me the whole time. Ha! And of course, she's talking to the lawyer. She's like, what's good? What's going on? So they see Julian Sr. go and read his will. Of course, he wasn't in the right frame of mind because his son tried to kill him. But he knew what he was talking about. And so, essentially, here's what happens. Tilda gets $25 million and the house. And the $75 million and everything else that goes along with it goes to Julian's sister, Claudia. Yes. Forget a spoiler because I already spoiled it in the first 30 seconds of this episode. Claudia is Julian's brother, of course, sister. He doesn't know it at this time. And he's pissed because he's getting nothing, especially after trying to kill his father. Understandably for that part, even though I'm so pissed because his father's acting like he was in the right, even though he did a lot of messed up stuff in his life, and then he went and gave everything to the side chick. Why are side chicks winning in this time? Why are side chicks winning on the come up? Still on the come up. I'm over that. And he was just like, you know what? To my wife, you were a spoiled, entitled woman, and you raised a spoiled, evil man. And I'm not even sure if I wouldn't put it past you to go and have my son try to kill me, because that's the only way it possibly could have really happened. And so then, once it was done, Julian was just like, no, you need to do something about it. You need to do something about it to the lawyer. Of course, we knew that wasn't going to happen. So, Julian's mom's just like, let's go. Oh my God, Mom. Oh, Julian, go. No. Let me stop. But and I mean, she was clearly, I feel bad for her. And Tilda's just like, oh my gosh, I knew this was going to happen, but oh my gosh, I didn't think it was going to be this much. Oh my God. Oh. Damn it, Tilda. So I guess Kwan's going to get nothing? Is Julian going to become Kwan's bitch? Is that how that's going to work? Look, I don't know. Anyway, after that, we have Esperanza talking to Lucian, and Esperanza's just like, yeah, so Lucian, did you do that background check? Yeah, she's clean, as far as Claudia. It's like, I called, and apparently she did work there, and what actually happened was someone new talked to me that day when I originally called, but it still doesn't make any sense. She doesn't know any of the procedures or protocols. So Eddie comes in, and it's just like, yo, what's good? What's going on? Just like, I'm like, Esperanza, be quiet. Esperanza, be quiet. Don't say anything, Esperanza. Esperanza. Shh. But of course, this is Esperanza, so she opens her mouth and says, what's going on with Claudia? And so he's like, I'll look into it. And of course, Esperanza looks halfway happy just because she doesn't like this chick, and at least someone looks like they're trying to do something about it. It's like, this is crazy. Because, what was his name? Lucian was just like, I already looked into it. Just like, no, I'll look into it. Because, of course, Eddie doesn't trust Lucian. And that's probably the smartest thing that Eddie can do at this time, not to trust Lucian. Because, as we know, Lucian is undercover. And it was already proven time again. I don't know why people still didn't figure it out. So, just like undercover Lucian goes and does, he calls, and it's just like, yo, I need to talk with so-and-so. Yep, no. They're gonna check on Claudia. Is she good? Are the documents ready? Yeah, okay, good. Good. Alright. And I can't believe that, oh yeah, side note, did you see how that guy was looking at Marcy? That guy was looking at Marcy like, damn, one of the people who were working on the house? Yeah, poor Marcy. Marcy doesn't realize that it's a trap, because she tries and goes to call her rep to see where's the person who called, and the person who called, and it was Randall. Randall set the whole thing up because he wanted to speak with Marcy. He wanted to speak with Marcy because he wanted to go and talk to Marcy about, he wanted to check up on her, about why Brad was living with her and what was going on there. And here's how the conversation went. One person was meaner to the other, after the other, and it was ridiculous. I mean, it was like, oh yeah, Marcy lied and said that she's been sleeping with Brad this whole time ever since they got caught with each other, that they just been doing it every day and night. And Randall, of course, did the same thing about Alex. Randall was just like, well, I did the same thing with Alex. And it was like, maybe, give me your address. It was like, why? You want to check up on me? Yeah, I want to check up on you. I want to see where you live. I want to see what's going on. As we know, Randall's crazy, so Marcy's gonna go. We're gonna go and give up the address. But Marcy is just like, oh, well, I'm good. Everything's great since you've been gone. I can't breathe for the first time. She's not moving on. Well, she's trying to, but Randall isn't letting her, because Randall is a control freak. Randall is hurt. Randall is really trying to justify the fact that he did what he did with Alex, because now Marcy went and did what she did with Brad. Even though we know that those two, come on now, that's a reach. And he was just like, well, you sleeping with Brad and you still not pregnant. Because she was just like, who knows? Maybe I'll have a baby with Brad soon. Randall was just like, yeah, right. Are you sure? In what world? Where? Because I slept with you for years, and it was only these past 4 months that didn't happen. And I went and slept with Alex, and she immediately got pregnant. So it wasn't me. And she was like, oh yeah, it was definitely you. Alex is, of course, this is what she's thinking in her mind. Alex is just a fertile whore. That's why she got pregnant quickly. That's not what she said, but I'm sure that's what she thought. And what's his name? Damn, what's his name? What you say or what you do, and what Brad does to you, at the end of the day, you will not be having this baby. I wish he said that. I really wish he said that. Because that's what he basically said without saying it. It's like, he was basically saying, you're barren, you're broken, you cannot bear a child. And I know it. We tried, so. Oh well. And of course, Marcy was shook after that, but she was trying to pretend like she wasn't shook. And she was just like, okay, baby, you believe what you want to believe. This is like, alright, I got you. So like, no. You know that can be vindictive, but you have no idea how bad things can get for you. Watch your back. Watch your back. And so it's like, okay, I'm ready for it. Come on, let's do this. Eddie is talking with one of the crooked people there, and Eddie's just like, is checking out to see what's going on with Claudia. Eddie realizes everything that's in the system regarding Claudia is very generic information. So Eddie's just like, I'm going to go and find out, I'm going to get to the bottom of this, because I don't trust her, I don't trust Lucian, and I know something's up, I'll find out sooner or later. And so Lucian is overseeing like, oh crap, something's not right here. So he goes to like, Claudia. And so I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, Lucian, you know Esperanza doesn't like this girl and is watching this girl like a hawk. Why are you trying to talk with her on the low, separately, in private, with Esperanza there? Come on now. Lucian, you are so smart, but you do some very dumb stuff. But I get it, he was desperate. He needs to go and talk with her. So he goes and talks with Claudia. And again, this shows that they do actually know each other or know enough of each other. And Lucian basically says, you know, I called some people, I called our contacts because, you know, your cover is about to be blown. It's about to be blown. And I wanted to make sure that that didn't happen. She was like, oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. So she was just like, you know what? Keep a low profile because she's watching you. Esperanza's watching you. He didn't say that, but that went without being said. So it's just like, stay clear. Everything should be okay. They're going to check up on you, but everything should be okay. And so she was just like, oh, Lucius, thank you. But you really took me away just to go and say that. Oh, whatever, Lucius. I know you cared. Thank you. So she goes in to give him a hug. And right as she's about to do that, she's just like, oh, okay, you cute. Whatever. And Esperanza pops up. It's just like, what is this? Get back to work. Get back to work. So Claudia goes, gets back to work. And Esperanza wasn't having it. She's just like, you know what? What's going on? Because you've been hanging out with Eddie. And so is Eddie rubbing off on you? Because you seem like a good guy. But I'm not dumb. Why are you trying to lie to me? Why are you trying to lie to me? It's just like, Esperanza, you're not wrong. Something is going on here. But your timing sucks. Because if you only knew what was really happening. If you only knew. But then again, if you knew, that means Eddie probably would have known as well. So I can't even go with that. But, what's his name? Lucian's just like, clearly, I'm not cheating. She's just like, no, I don't think you're cheating, but I am watching you because I don't trust you because you just lied to me. You're like, oh, that was nothing, and you don't want to tell me what it is? Okay, I have something for you. I'm not going to tell Natalie yet, but if I see anything else, anything at all, I will tell Natalie. Of course, she doesn't even know that he proposed to Natalie today. So, if I was him, I would have spun that. Not with Claudia, because that would just look very fishy, but I feel like that's his trump card. Maybe he can use that to spin it somehow. Maybe. We'll see about that. But this is where we officially find out that Lucius is undercover because he's doing a lot to protect Claudia. And so Julian goes to see the attorney, to see the family lawyer, and Julian's just like, you know what? Let's say if my sister, I know how the original will was written. If someone dies, it goes to the next person as far as the money and the estate. He was like, yes, that's true. So it's like, if my sister dies, then the money would go to me. She's like, yeah, it would. But it can't because your father hated you towards the end so much and he was so petty and vengeful that he actually made it so that if anything happens to her, almost anything at all except for dying of natural causes, you won't get the money. So Julian was like, wait a minute. So even if she walks in front of a bus or is hit by a car and it was completely by accident and she dies, I don't get the money? He's like, yeah. And of course he has this dumb smirk on his face, the attorney. So Julius is like, oh, okay, I got something for that. Boom! He goes, stabs him, his left hand with a pen. It's just like, you're gonna call Tilda, you're gonna go and get information on my sister. I'm gonna go and meet up with her. Because I'm gonna get my money one way or the other. And then he takes this glass, this heavy looking glass, and he goes, smashes the right hand. It's like, you're gonna go and you're gonna do it now. So he goes, he's just like, what's Tilda's number? It's on speed dial. Speed dial 2. It's like, ooh, you unloyal mother. And so he goes, calls her. Tilda's just so happy and overjoyed that she's not really thinking about what's going on. She's not thinking about what's actually happening. And because she's not, she's just giving off all this information. It's like, oh yeah, she works in the police department. She works as a first responder or one of the people, 911 operator. And yeah, I'll go and text you the number. I got you. Don't worry about it. Because he was saying I need to have her go and sign some paperwork. So that was it. We find out officially that Julian is related to Claudia. We find out that Lucian is undercover. And if anyone didn't realize that when watching the episode, come on now. You must do better. Please like, comment, subscribe. Come back next week.